Hello, so this is our virtual phonics evening to introduce you to how we teach the children to read, okay, and all of the things that we do for early literacy. So we're going to go through what we're doing this evening. Tonight's meeting is going to introduce you to the phonics and reading that the children do in school, the handwriting and some finger gym exercises to help them to control their fingers when writing better. So, what is phonics? A few of us will be of the generation that learned to sight read, and phonics might be quite new to you. However, it's something that research shows that children can independently decode their reading if they're taught to systematically understand phonics. Since summer 2012, all children in Year 1 have a phonics screening check as well. So, confusing. To many of us, phonics can seem confusing. This wasn't the way that we learnt to read. There are also a lot of terminology that seems quite unusual. Some of the words we use are phonics, which is how we teach the children to read. Phoneme, which is a single unit of sound. Grapheme, which is the letter that is linked to that phoneme. Digraph, which is two letters that make one sound, like sh, which is made up of the s and the h. Split digraph, which is two letters that make one sound that are then split up by a different letter. So that is like the A in make. And trigraphs, which is three letters that make one sound. A trigraph is something like I in night, where you've got the IGH, and that makes the I sound. At St John's we use a scheme called Read, Write, Ink. It's written by a lady called Ruth Miskin and it's published by Oxford University Press. The scheme uses a wide variety of materials and it's very dyslexia friendly. It's a complete reading to writing programme. Now the sounds aren't taught in alphabetical order. The speed sounds are taught daily, with a new sound being built on every day, and we start at So, here, the first set of speed sounds are a, s, d, t. And with those sounds, you can start to build words. And that's what's really important about the order that we teach the sounds in. With the first 10, from to o, you can make about 44 easily recognisable words for the children to blend. And it helps the children to learn to read very quickly. So, how can you help at home? The children tonight will be coming home with their sound books. Inside there are instructions on how to do these sounds, and there's also a video on the website for pronunciation. Talk to the children about sounds they hear in everyday life. It's really important for them to be able to do that, and particularly important for you to model oral sound blending. Some of our children know a lot of the sounds, but they've never heard a word being sounded out for them to assume what the word is going to be. So for example, you might want to say, could you go and get me a k up? And that child will have to try and figure out what a k up is and link it to that word cup. Okay? It's a really good thing for them to be able to do, because if they can hear that sound and those blends, they'll be able to then do that when they're sounding out a word for themselves to read. It's still important for children to know the alphabet, but with the alphabet ABC, for a word like cat, C-A-T, it wouldn't be heard, whereas when you say it as cat, you can hear automatically that that word is cat. Tricky words. Now, obviously, not all words are green words, words that we can sound out. We call them a Fred Frog word. A red word is a word like the, or was or I that is not phonetically regular. So they just have to know it. We actually tell the children, you can't thread a red word, you just have to know it. So, in addition to the read-writing materials, we also aim to listen to hear each child read their book 3 times a week. And due to the current guidance from the DFE, we will be changing those books on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday if your child is confident with their home reader. So that allows us for additional cleaning time, obviously due to the current pandemic. We use a variety of books. We don't just use Oxford University Press and the Oxford Reading Tree. We also use Big Cat Phonics, Rigby Star, Phonics Book Club, Songbird Phonics, which allows the children a breadth of experiences with their reading. So, children will be bringing home their reading book by the end of the week. This is to practice daily. Even if they've had the same book on Monday, they need to read it again on Tuesday before it's changed on Wednesday. They may get it for longer if they're less confident with telling us the story. Until they have learned the blends for the first 10 sounds, they will not go on to books with words. They will come home with a wordless book that the children will need to be able to tell the story and what is happening. What can you do to help at home? You need to read their school books and sign their reading records on a daily basis. You also need to do their sound books. Until they have done the first 10 sounds, they don't get a book with words, so at the moment the sound books are significantly more important. Talk to us, visit the library. It's still important for them to read a range of books at home and to tell stories. It's very important for children's vocabulary to tell a story every night together. It's not always easy, but even making up your own stories can really, really help the children. Handwriting. So the read-writing resources have special phrases, and in the information pack that we'll be sending home that has this PowerPoint and all of the speed sounds, the children will see, you'll be able to see the direction that we do the letters in. So it's things like for we say down Maisie and over her mountain, mountain. All of those little phrases are on the information pack for you. We're not teaching children precursive letters, we are teaching children print letters. It's important for them to be able to know how to print first. How can you help at home? By the end of next week, they will be coming home with a name card. That's the first thing that they really need to be able to write well, because it's important that when they do a piece of work in the classroom, that they can write their own name on the back of it. You can model the writing. I once went to a meeting myself and somebody said, do you ever write in front of your children? And I thought about it, I thought, well, I mark books when they've gone to bed and I type on my phone, and no, I don't really model that writing for them. Whereas I remember vividly my mum sitting with a pad next to the phone, speaking to family members and writing lists and things like that. It's a really good thing once the children become more confident to help you with if you say, oh, could you write me a shopping list? The other thing that you can do to help at home is improve their fine motor control, and it's about using finger gym activities. One of the best things for finger gym activities is Play-Doh. It makes a mess, but it really does help them to understand that their fingers are not just something at the end of their hands. They really need to understand that they can use them in lots of different ways to help control. Painting, colouring, all of those things help your child to develop their fine motor control. Threading Cheerios onto a piece of pasta, any threading activities that you can do are super. Picking up a pine cone, wrapping a pipe cleaner around it, all of those are great ideas for finger gym. If you've got toys, you'll find that things like Meccano or Brio, where you have to twist the wrist, are better than things like Lego, where it is just a place. And you can see here at the bottom, this is how children develop Lots of our children around here at the moment, and they start to become more dynamic and start to use a full tripod grip. It's really important to ensure that your child is not hooking their thumb around a pencil. If they are doing that, they're going to need some more finger gym exercises. So it helps to develop the gross motor development first and then the fine motor skills. So it's still important for them to be catching and throwing balls, because you need your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist before you can use your fingers. It's a great idea. Gross motor, playing outside, playing racket games, fine motor, again, like we said, Play-Doh, threading activities, colouring, drawing, painting. Lego is good, Brio kits are better. Fun ideas for writing. So things like sending postcards to relatives, or even at this early stage, doing a colouring to send to a relative, shopping lists, diaries, posters, letters to the family, and obviously this one's coming up quite soon, so that's a good one for them to do. Thinking about specific words and labels, getting pictures from the internet, sticking them onto a letter format and getting them to write the word next to it. Cards, birthday cards and stories are all really good activities for writing. Wow moments. Now at the moment we have outside of our classroom some little papers that help you to tell us what the children have been doing at home. Things that make you go, oh wow, I didn't know they could do that. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're trying to figure out a way where we can do that digitally, because we can't send paperwork too much between home and school. We're trying to restrict anything that goes home. It's more important for the phonics book and the reading book to be coming home to you. Volunteer shout out, again, at the moment we are really in need of volunteers, but we're not allowed to welcome anybody else in. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please do get in touch with us at school through the admin address, through a phone call, and I'll get back to you at the end of the day.